Hi, I'm Christopher. I'm a security consultant at softScheck, and today I want to talk about server-side request forgery. What is server-side request forgery? It's when an attacker picks where your server points. So attacker decides which IP does your server visit, and why is it a problem? Because this can also mean it can reach internal IPs, and oftentimes the server has a lot of trust in the internal network, and an attacker can then abuse the trust and reach into your network as the server, or it looks for the services inside your network like it comes from the trusted server, and so the attacker can then exfiltrate like secrets or data. And a lot of times people only think about this, okay, nobody puts in some URL to my website, I'm safe. But that's not the case. If you have like PDF exporters they maybe follow image tags, or you've got some XML parser that may follow that parses some IP and visits it. So a lot of times it's hidden in metadata, and it's not that simple that you don't just let someone input an URL, obviously, but it's more nuanced than that. Okay, this is the main target when we talk about server-side requests for forgery in the cloud. This IP address 169.254, is used by Azure and Google Cloud Services to get us credentials. So we can just send a request there, and we can get cloud credentials. So in version 1, we needed no headers, no authentication, no token, just HTTP requests to this IP, and we got like credentials, cloud credentials, valid cloud credentials, because it's an internal address, and the cloud service thought, okay, this is an internal address, this is totally safe. I mean, it comes from the internal network. But with server-side request forgery, it's the attacker who accesses this endpoint and this IP. So the nice part about this is for the attacker that those credentials are valid anywhere. It's not bound to the server or anything. He can just use the server-side request forgery to get the credentials, and then when he has got the credentials, he can lease the server and use it from his own laptop. So the version 2 fixes this. Like, there's a hop limit of 1, so we can't use the proxy route like server-side request forgery uses to access this endpoint, because there's a hop limit. And yeah, we cannot do a get. We needed a put. So that's a lot of times server-side request forgery affects get requests. So that's also another hindrance for an attacker. So this incident is very famous. An attacker used a server-side request forgery to steal 106 million credit card data. So not no 0-day or something, but just a plain server-side request forgery, and it leads to millions of damage. So it shows the security number stolen, fines for the company. And the really bad part is it was on notice for 4 months. No alarm bells went off. It was very sneaky. So the attacker had all the time to do all the damage. So a big problem in this one was that he got cloud credentials. The attacker got cloud credentials from the magic IP address, and the role he got, the credentials for the role he got was very, very powerful, and he could read like 700 S3 buckets and also decrypt them. Like, they were encrypted, but the role was so powerful that it could decrypt the data. Yeah, and what will help us against attacks like this? So a naive filter is not enough. Like, okay, we just block localhost and then we're fine. No, we need to do an allow list, like a whitelist approach. We need to decide what connections are allowed. Is the server allowed to reach into our internal network? Is he allowed to reach a magic cloud credential IP address? So we need to do a whitelist approach. Also, we don't follow redirects. We use HTTPS. And one thing we do is if we get an address, we first resolve it. And after that, we check it against our whitelist and then connect to that IP. So we don't first validate the address and then say, oh no, we need to resolve it. No, we need to first resolve it and then validate the IP. Okay, what else can we do? We can do like the allowed approach I already talked about. We can put a proxy between the server and the internet, so we can control the network flow between our server and the internet. And also we can use IMD as a version 2 that introduces the hop limit and the put requests, so that it's not that easy to just reach the cloud credentials. Okay, that's it. Short one this time. If it was helpful to you, please leave a like and bye.